So maybe you watched my other video on how to install add-ons. Maybe you're a new player and you're not sure which add-ons you want to get. I'm going to run through a list of add-ons that I think every player should be using. And if you're a new player, you should definitely check out getting these. Now they are personal preference, most of them. Some of them you will need to have in order to do mythic pluses or dungeons or raids more specifically. That they just make it a whole lot easier. The first one I'm going to go over is just a quality of life one, and that's shadowed unit frames. So you can download all of these from curseforge.com. This is shadowed unit frames, and this just changes this look. So if I enable all these frames, you'll see that it gives me the ability to move my group around however I want, and you can have it laid out horizontally this way if you prefer that better than up and down. You can see I have my raid group up here. When I'm in a raid, this is where it will show up. My party over here, when I'm in a party, you can see that I have a number of buffs here. I have the marks here. Then I have my target is over here on the right hand side. You can move this anywhere you prefer, you know, if you want it over here, you want it down here, anywhere you like. I've just got it over here for now. I do play with these from time to time if I feel like it's not working out. And then I have my target of target here, which is helpful for me when I'm tanking, if I would like to see if my target's actually targeting me or who it's targeting. I have here my pet bar down here. This is the focus target for raids. And then up here you'll see that I have arena and battleground frames, mostly because these are not going to be active at the same time. I don't mind if they overlap. Now you'll see if I go lock frames here, it'll lock them and it'll take away all those frames that are currently not in use. In this menu, you have a number of different options to change the border color, the background color, and then you have for global, for your player, your pet, your target, and so on, a whole lot of customization. You can pick how many buffs show up underneath each name, what it represents. You can change the size down here if you want them to be smaller bars or bigger bars. Overall, a cleaner look for what I'm looking for, and it's the best one that I've found. There are a number of other ones, you know, Z Pearl is out there, and you know, you play around with them. I preferred shadow unit frames. It did the best job for me. Next up we have Bartender add-on. You'll see that it gives me a number of bars I can have showing, and this just makes it so my bars, I can make them a little bit smaller. I can move them all to be underneath me, and I can have it so I don't have the wow art bar. Now you can enable it, you can put it back on, you can have it here. This just lets me move everything around. You can unlock it and you can move all your bars, you know, your bag bar, everything around. You can change the size of your bars here. You can have, there just gives you so many options. And for me, I like to have that customization, make it a little bit cleaner. And I feel that it just it definitely helps out with the look. Threat plates. As you can see, threat plates do the same thing, gives you a number of customization options. You can go through here and change everything around. I don't do too much customization usually when I'm dealing with add-ons. I know there's tons of things you can do. I like it, it just makes them look a little bit cleaner, and it shows the buffs that I have on them, or debuffs that I have on them over top their head. Bagnon. And all that does is it joins up my bags here. Normally you'd have to open them one at a time, or they'd all be in a separate window. In this, it just combines them and allows me to see them all at once. And now you'll notice my bar here and here for my cooldowns and triggered abilities. That is weak auras. Now weak auras is probably the most handy but heaviest add-on they have in the game. Weak auras itself is a fully customizable add-on that lets you basically make your own notifications. Now these I downloaded. I'm not good enough to make my own at this point. I messed around with it a little bit, and you know, it's okay. So me, I downloaded for my Death Knight from Luctos. He's a streamer. He's a Death Knight player. He's great. So he had a whole package of weak auras that you can download. So what you do with weak auras is, if you want to import an add-on, you simply click import, and then most of them will give you a copy paste option, and you just paste it in here, and then it will show up here. And even within this, there's a number of customization options. I have these ones deselected that I don't want to see because I'm not a Frost Death Knight. Now that will change when I become a Blood Death Knight. These will change to which ones I see. Most of the things in the game are very intuitive, and you don't have to worry about too much of that stuff. Another weak auras that I have downloaded is from Signs of Kalani. He did a video on which add-ons you should use for mythic dungeons, and this is this Zen Tracker main that I have from him. Details, which is a damage meter add-on. So if you're in a dungeon, or a raid in the dungeon, who's doing the most damage, who's doing the most healing, who's doing the most overhealing, things like that. This will show you, give you a breakdown on what's doing the most damage of your abilities. You can see here it's my sword. So that's another great add-on to have. Again, you can open it up and fully customize what you'd like in it. So there's, I mean, you can spend a lot of time fully customizing it to get it to look just how you want it on your screen. And as with most add-ons, that is the case. They do come with a number of options that let you change them around and how you use them, which is what most people want. They want to be able to customize their HUD and get their screen looking just how they want it, so it's personalized to them and their taste. So another add-on for running dungeons is Big Wigs and Little Wigs. Big Wigs is mostly for raids, and Little Wigs is for mythic dungeons and dungeons in general. So this one I just leave alone for the most part. It has different things where it'll show you. If I toggle the anchors, so you can see here, like for some fights, you can't be closer than 5 yards to a player. So this will be here. This will come up if that's a thing that needs to be shown. Here's the thing for alternate power. In these days, it's corruption in the horrific visions. And there's an info box of different things that are coming up, the boss's abilities, and then these are message bars that I have showing up on my screen to let me know to move, get out of fire, I'm being targeted, and then there's a countdown in the window here. There's also DBM, which is basically the same thing. I have them both because Little Wigs won't run without Big Wigs, and Little Wigs is pretty much needed for mythic dungeons. Astral Keys, which just shows you who or who on your friends or guilds has keys available to do, and stuff like that. So you don't, that's mostly if you're going to be running mythic pluses, then you should definitely be looking at getting that. Angry keys is another one that I have that helps with mythic dungeons as well. This GTFO just makes an alarm sound when you are in something that you should not be standing in. I will leave a link to CurseForge in the descriptions. That's definitely where I would go. You can be confident that most add-ons from there are going to be virus free. Just check. You don't want to be the first person to download an add-on. Maybe that's no good, but most of them have over several million downloads, and I've never had a problem downloading anything from there.